Welcome to a deep dive into the world of Jose Silva and his method for unlocking the power of the mind. We're going to be exploring a fascinating chapter from a book all about his life and work, and trust me, this is no ordinary biography.
What's really fascinating is how Silva connected seemingly unrelated fields like electronics and the human mind.
Yeah.
It's a journey that starts with a curious kid facing some serious hardship and ends up impacting millions all over the world.
Okay, so let's break this down a little bit.
Yeah.
We're talking about a guy born into poverty in Laredo, Texas, back in 1914.
Right.
His father died when he was just 4. So imagine, by 6 years old, Jose's already out there shining shoes, selling newspapers, helping his family make ends meet.
It's a testament to his resilience and his drive. What really stood out to me was the story about how he got his start in electronics.
Okay.
He's just a kid hanging out at a barbershop waiting for a haircut. And what does he find? A radio repair course advertisement.
Wait, so he learned electronics from a barber?
Not exactly. He rented those lessons and aced the exams. But get this, he did it all in the barber's name, so clearly this was a kid who knew how to make things happen.
That's amazing.
Okay.
But how does a radio repair whiz end up exploring the depths of the human mind?
That's where World War II comes in. Jose's drafted into the Signal Corps, and during his induction, he has this rather strange encounter with a psychiatrist.
Okay.
The psychiatrist kept asking him these really basic questions.
Like what? Like, do you like ice cream?
No, think more along the lines of, do you wet the bed? And do you like women?
Oh, wow.
Jose, who already had a family by this point, was just baffled. Why would a professional focused on understanding the mind ask these seemingly pointless questions?
Yeah, you'd think they'd be diving into some, deeper psychological territory.
Right.
I guess it sparked a fire in Jose to understand how the mind actually works.
Exactly. He couldn't shake this feeling that there was so much more to understanding the mind than what those, stupid questions suggested.
Yeah.
So he just dives headfirst into psychology, devouring the works of Freud, Jung, Adler, basically teaching himself to become an expert.
Wow. So this is where that electronics background comes full circle, right? He starts to see the parallels between how radios work and how our brains function.
Exactly. He saw the brain as this intricate circuit with all its neurons firing away, and he believed that just like with a radio, there were ways to optimize its efficiency and enhance mental function. Think of it like fine-tuning a radio to get the clearest signal.
So how did he go from theory to actually experimenting with the mind? Didn't he start with hypnosis?
He did, and this is where things start to get really interesting. He initially used hypnosis with his children, hoping to improve their learning abilities.
Okay.
But along the way, he stumbles upon something that totally challenges conventional thinking about the brain.
I'm all ears. What was this mind-blowing discovery?
He observed that the brain became more energetic at lower frequencies. You see, traditionally, we associate alertness and mental activity with higher brainwave frequencies like beta waves. But Jose discovered that at lower frequencies, like alpha and theta, the brain was actually more receptive and ready for learning.
Wait, so slowing down brain activity actually makes it more powerful?
Yes.
That's counterintuitive. It's like saying the quieter your car engine, the faster you go.
Exactly. It was a paradoxical finding, and it completely changed his approach. He started to see these lower brain frequencies as a kind of hidden gear in the brain, offering access to enhanced learning and creative potential.
Okay. But you can't hypnotize people all the time. How did he move beyond hypnosis to access these states more reliably?
He realized that hypnosis, while effective, had its limitations. It didn't encourage the kind of independent, critical thinking he valued. He wanted to find a way to maintain alertness and conscious control even at those lower brain frequencies.
So instead of relying on hypnosis, he developed mental exercises that anyone could use to train their minds.
Exactly. And these exercises became the foundation of what we know as the Silva Method. He believed that through consistent practice, people could learn to consciously enter these deeper states of awareness, leading to improved memory, enhanced understanding, and ultimately a greater sense of control over their minds.
But that's just the start of the story. Jose Silva wasn't content with just improving memory and focus. He also dove headfirst into the controversial world of ESP. And that's where we'll pick up in part 2 of our deep dive.
Get ready for some truly mind-bending discoveries as we explore how Jose Silva claimed to unlock the hidden potential of ESP in anyone.
Welcome back to our deep dive into the world of Jose Silva.
Yes.
In part one, we explored his fascinating journey from a radio repair whiz to a pioneer in mind development, uncovering his groundbreaking discovery about the power of accessing lower brain frequencies like alpha and zeta.
Right.
Now get ready because things are about to get really interesting as we explore the Silva method and its claims about ESP.
Okay, so it's important to remember that Jose Silva approached ESP with the same kind of rigor and scientific curiosity that he applied to everything else. He
Right.
wasn't interested in, mystical pronouncements or parlor tricks. He wanted to understand if these abilities, often dismissed as paranormal or supernatural, could be explained and even developed through a systematic approach.
So he believes everyone had the potential for ESP, but it was like a hidden talent just waiting to be unlocked.
Exactly. He saw ESP as a natural human ability, not some supernatural gift reserved for, a select few.
Okay.
And he believed that through specific mental techniques, anyone could learn to tap into this hidden potential.
Okay, I have to admit I'm a little skeptical. Could you give me like a concrete example of what one of these ESP techniques actually looks like in practice?
Okay. One technique that's central to the Silva method is called the mirror of the mind.
Okay.
It involves entering a relaxed state, similar to what we talked about with those lower brain frequencies, and then visualizing a mental screen, almost like a movie projector in your mind.
So you're basically creating like a mental cinema where you can project images and scenarios.
Precisely. But it goes beyond just, daydreaming.
Right.
The key is to project images onto this mental screen that represent the outcomes you desire, whether it's improved health, stronger relationships, or even success in a particular endeavor.
Let me see if I get this. If I wanted to say improve my public speaking skills, I would visualize myself like confidently delivering a presentation on this mental screen.
Exactly. And the more vivid and detailed you can make that visualization, the more powerful the technique becomes. The idea is that by repeatedly imprinting these positive images on your subconscious mind, you're essentially reprogramming your beliefs and expectations, making it more likely that you'll actually achieve the desired outcome.
It's almost like creating a mental blueprint for success, like a roadmap for your subconscious to follow. But I'm still stuck in the ESP part. How does the mirror of the mind technique connect to like developing abilities like telepathy or clairvoyance?
Silva believed that by practicing this visualization technique and other related exercises, you could strengthen your intuitive faculties and become more sensitive to subtle energies and information that might otherwise go unnoticed.
So it's about expanding your perception beyond like the five physical senses.
Exactly. It's about recognizing that there might be more to reality than what we can immediately see, hear, touch, taste, or smell. Silva believed that ESP abilities were simply an extension of our natural senses, like a way of perceiving information beyond the limitations of the physical world.
Okay, let's say I'm willing to entertain this idea of ESP. What kind of specific techniques would someone use to develop those abilities within the Silva method?
One intriguing technique involves using a mental counselor or guide.
Okay.
Imagine entering a deep state of relaxation and then visualizing this wise and supportive figure who can provide you with guidance and insights.
So you're kind of conjuring up an imaginary mentor, a mental Yoda, who can answer your questions and offer advice.
You could think of it that way. The idea is that by connecting with this mental counselor, you're tapping into a deeper level of wisdom and intuition that might not be accessible to your conscious mind alone.
It's like having an internal compass guiding you towards the right decisions and actions.
Yeah.
But what about those more like, psychic abilities, like knowing what someone's thinking or predicting future events?
Yeah.
How did Silva address those within his method?
He believed that by regularly practicing these techniques, you could enhance your sensitivity to the thoughts and emotions of others, and even become more attuned to potential future outcomes.
So it's about honing your intuition to a point where you can pick up on subtle cues and patterns that most people miss.
Precisely. Silva believed that these abilities weren't supernatural, but rather just a heightened form of perception, a way of tapping into a deeper level of interconnectedness that exists between all things.
Okay, but let's be real. Even if I put in the effort and practice these techniques, am I going to suddenly be able to read minds or predict the lottery numbers?
It's important to manage expectations. While some people have reported remarkable experiences with ESP after practicing the Silva method, it's not like a guaranteed outcome. And Jose Silva himself emphasized that the main focus of his method wasn't about developing psychic powers.
So what was the main goal? If it wasn't about becoming like the next Nostradamus, what did he want people to achieve through these techniques?
He wanted to empower people to tap into their own inner resources to unlock their potential and to live more fulfilling and meaningful lives. The emphasis was on using these techniques for personal growth, self-improvement, and achieving greater control over your own thoughts, emotions, and actions.
That resonates with me more than chasing psychic abilities, to be honest. I'm more interested in those practical benefits, improving my focus, managing stress, and just generally feeling more balanced and in control of my life.
Yeah, and those are precisely the areas where the Silva method has shown consistent positive results. It's about empowering people to take control of their mental and emotional well-being, leading to positive changes in all aspects of their lives.
So while the ESP aspect is intriguing, it's not the core of the method. It's more about using these techniques to enhance your overall well-being and achieve your goals, whatever those may be.
Exactly. And it's important to note that the Silva method has continued to evolve since Jose Silva's passing in 1999.
Oh, wow.
His daughter, Laura Silva, has played a key role in carrying on his legacy, incorporating new research and refining the techniques to make them even more effective.
So it's not a static system frozen in time. It's constantly being updated and adapted to meet the needs of modern-day practitioners. That's reassuring because it means it's staying relevant and applicable to contemporary life.
Yeah, and that's a testament to the enduring power of Jose Silva's vision. He created a system that wasn't just bound to a specific time or place. It was a system designed to empower people for generations to come.
But we've only scratched the surface of the practical applications of the Silva method. In Part 3, we'll delve deeper into some of the specific techniques and explore the impact this method has had on individuals and society as a whole. Get ready for some truly remarkable stories.
Stay tuned, because we'll be hearing from people whose lives have been transformed by these seemingly simple yet profoundly powerful techniques.
Welcome back to the final part of our deep dive into the world of Jose Silva and his remarkable method for unlocking the potential of the mind. We've explored his journey, delved into the core techniques, and now it's time to get down to the nitty-gritty. How does the Silva method actually work in practice? And more importantly, does it really deliver on its promises?
The beauty of the Silva method is that it's not just a theoretical framework.
Right.
It's a system of practical techniques that are designed to be applied to your everyday life. And one of the most powerful tools in the Silva toolbox is something called dynamic meditation.
Okay, I've heard of meditation, but what makes it dynamic? Is it like meditation on a treadmill or something?
Not quite. Dynamic meditation, as Jose Silva envisioned it, is a guided process that helps you progressively relax and enter deeper states of awareness.
Okay.
Similar to what we discussed with those alpha and theta brainwave frequencies.
So it's like a structured form of meditation designed to shift your brainwave activity into those more receptive states.
Exactly. It's about training your mind to enter those states whenever you want, rather than relying on chance or accidental occurrences. And the benefits go far beyond just relaxation. Silva believed that by regularly practicing dynamic meditation, you could improve your memory, boost your creativity, enhance your problem-solving abilities, and even reduce stress and anxiety.
I'm starting to see how this all connects. You're essentially tuning your brain to operate at like a higher level, accessing those hidden gears we talked about earlier.
Right.
But what about those more, psychic applications of the Silva method?
Yeah.
The stuff about ESP and intuition.
Yeah.
How does dynamic meditation play into that?
Silva believed that by entering these deeper states of awareness through dynamic meditation, you could become more sensitive to subtle energies and information that you might otherwise miss.
Okay.
Think of it like expanding your perceptual range, becoming more attuned to the nuances of your environment and the people around you.
So it's not about suddenly gaining superpowers, but rather about refining your natural intuition.
Exactly. Silva believed that everyone has intuitive abilities,
Right.
but they're often dormant or underdeveloped. Dynamic meditation, along with other techniques like the mirror of the mind and the mental counselor we discussed earlier, can help you awaken and strengthen those intuitive faculties.
Okay, but let's be real for a moment. I'm all for personal growth and expanding my awareness. But I'm still a little skeptical about the ESP claims. Has anyone actually achieved verifiable results using these techniques?
While there have been anecdotal accounts of people experiencing ESP phenomena after practicing the Silva method, it's important to note that these claims haven't been scientifically validated.
So the scientific jury is still out on the ESP stuff.
Right.
But what about those other more tangible benefits? The improvements in memory-focused stress reduction, are those backed by any evidence?
There have been some studies suggesting that certain techniques within the Silva method, like visualization and relaxation exercises, can have positive effects on cognitive function, stress levels, and overall well-being. However, more research is needed to fully understand how it works and the long-term impacts of these practices.
Yeah, it sounds like there's still a lot we don't know about how the mind works and how these techniques influence our mental and emotional states.
Right.
But even if we set aside the ESP claims the potential for personal growth and self-improvement is pretty compelling. Do you have any examples of how the Silva method has actually helped people in their everyday lives?
There are so many stories of people who have used the Silva method to overcome challenges and create positive changes in their lives. One that comes to mind is the story of a woman named Sarah, who struggled with severe anxiety for years.
Oh, wow.
She had tried all sorts of therapies and medications, but nothing seemed to provide lasting relief.
Yeah, anxiety is something so many people struggle with these days.
Right.
It can be truly debilitating. What happened when Sarah tried the Silva method?
She was skeptical at first, but she was desperate for a solution. So she signed up for a Silva Method course and learned techniques like dynamic meditation and visualization. She started practicing these techniques regularly, and little by little she noticed a shift. She felt calmer, more centered, and better able to manage her anxiety.
So she was using these mental tools to regain a sense of control over her emotions in her life.
Exactly. She learned to identify what triggered her anxiety, and she developed coping mechanisms to deal with those feelings.
Okay.
She also started visualizing herself as calm and confident in situations that used to totally freak her out.
It sounds like she was essentially rewiring her brain,
Yeah,
creating new neural pathways to replace those old anxiety-ridden ones.
that's a good way to put it. And Sarah's story isn't unique. There are countless accounts of people using the Silva method to overcome phobias, improve their sleep, boost their confidence, and even enhance their creativity and problem-solving skills.
It's really inspiring to hear about people taking control of their lives and achieving positive change through these techniques. It reminds us that we all have the power to shape our reality and create the life we want.
And that's the heart of Jose Silva's legacy, I think.
Yeah.
He wasn't just a researcher or a teacher, he was a visionary who believed in the unlimited potential of the human mind, and he dedicated his life to empowering others to discover that potential within themselves.
You know, we've covered a lot of ground in our deep dive into the world of Jose Silva and the Silva method. We've explored his remarkable journey, delved into the science and the skepticism, and heard stories of transformation and empowerment.
Yeah, what's clear is that Jose Silva's work continues to resonate with people all over the world. It offers a unique and potentially powerful approach to personal growth and self-discovery.
If there's one takeaway from our exploration, it's this. The mind is an incredible instrument, and we're only just beginning to understand what it's capable of. Whether you're intrigued by the potential of ESP or just looking for practical tools to enhance your well-being, Jose Silva's legacy reminds us that we all have the power to unlock extraordinary possibilities within ourselves. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We hope it's inspired you to explore the power of your own mind and embrace the journey of self-discovery.